Okay, we are coming live.
Hello.
Yeah. Hang on, just let me check if I'm live.
Sure. It says live on Facebook on my laptop.
Yeah, so I just want to confirm a bit to make sure we are live. Huh?
Sure.
Okay, good. We are live because I can't find my recording button. That's a well done, right?
Slowly.
Yeah. This is the sometimes I don't know, somehow I might have disabled it for whatever the reasons.
No problem. You're the guru at that.
Yeah, okay, we are going live. Okay, never mind. We will just go for that. I can't find. Most likely I have disabled it back end. So
Do you want to restart and try again?
No. It's the setting back end.
I see.
Yep. Okay, never mind. Let me see. How can I quickly not video, start video. Let me see how can I quickly set the end. Sorry, just give me a minute.
No problem.
Okay, to enable recording.
No worries. To our friends who, if we happen to be live on Facebook already, and to our friends who are logged into us, hello, and thank you so much for logging in to Felicia's program, Better You, Better Mom.
Well done. You're helping me to do the intro.
Yes, and it's a bright, okay, it's not bright anymore, but it's a chirpy and fun Tuesday, 22nd of June at 8:03 p.m. I hope all of you have had your dinner, and if you have eaten something, it must have been fantastic, because everything that we eat is a blessing. And the ability to eat is also a blessing.
Okay.
So give us some moments.
Okay, I think I'll just go with it. Okay, never mind. I think we will just leave it as that because the Facebook also got the recording.
Sure.
Hi. Thanks. Once again, I'm Felicia from the Better You, Better Mom. This is another episode with Audrey Au. I'm very thankful that she's helping me to do the introduction. Okay.
Thank you, Felicia, for having me on your program. It's an honor to be on this program and to serve the women community, the female community, and also their families. Yeah, which means everybody, actually.
No worries.
Yeah.
Let me just share screen with y'all. Just let me share screen. Okay, as mentioned, Audrey Au. She's actually from Change Navigations. Today, her topic will be sharing on tips to achieve your personal goal. I think this is very relevant in our today context, especially we are staying home most of the time. So what do we do? And when our work become our personal life and vice versa, how can we, work around things like? And likewise for myself, I'm Felicia Tan. I'm actually the author, speaker, and fulfillment coach. My own journey, if you all had seen me on last week's program, Heartwarmers on Channel 8, I actually had 2 miscarriages and lost 3 angel babies. And subsequently, I welcomed my rainbow baby in June 2015. Of course, the journey is definitely not a smooth path, but how do I work through things and believing that I have my rainbow baby at the end of the day is also something that people do see that as be inspiring or encouraging for other women as well. And likewise for Audrey, she's an internal change consultant, coach who helps people navigate better through times of change. In her life journey so far, Audrey observed that women especially tend to face more demanding challenges on family, work, and social.
Okay.
Women seems to have to work doubly hard in more aspect of life. I think because we have more roles definitely. Yet many of us, including her, Audrey herself, often form self-doubts and find it no longer necessary to pursue life goals. Such are wasted opportunities. Hence, one of Audrey's calling is to design ways to empower women to be a better version of ourselves.
Okay. Thank you so much, Felicia, for the intro.
Yeah. No worries. So without further ado, let's welcome Audrey again.
Yay! Thank you. Maybe I can once again before we start, just want to say a big thank you to Felicia for having me on your program. It's the first time I am doing a Facebook Live, and this is something that is very close to my heart about helping women to feel more empowered in in owning ourselves, in owning our gifts, to really live up to our potential. Yeah. Why women? I mean, number one, because I am one myself. Yeah, and I am. I mean, as Felicia has introduced me, I am an internal change consultant currently. Yeah, and a lot of my work is related to human behaviors. Yeah, so I would empathize and I would observe human behaviors. Including myself, even though I am very human, and that means that I have a lot of blind spots and a lot of room for improvement. Yeah, so why this topic about women empowerment, apart from the fact that it is I'm a woman, I also realize that in families, I this could be a bias, I'm not very sure. And I think that's really fine if I have some form of bias, right? Yeah, I feel that mothers hold a very, very crucial role. Sorry, fathers, I don't mean that y'all don't, okay? Yeah, but since we're about better mom, yeah, even though like some fathers adopt the role of mothers as well. I think the role of a mother is very, very significant and extremely unique. And how a family grows, and how a family stays together, and how the children actually develop later on in life, and their values. A lot actually lies in the responsibilities of a mother. Yeah, I mean, Felicia, maybe I ask you first. Yeah, I mean, since you're a mother, and thanks so much for being so brave, in the earlier introduction, of yourself and in your journey of motherhood. Yeah, may I ask you first? So, what do you think of whatever I just said? About the role of mothers in a family, the role of women in a family.
Well, I definitely agree on that, because we do have a lot of things on our plate now. To work as one, to be a daughter, a mother, and also daughter-in-law. Yeah. And being a mom, a lot of expectation is on you, especially when the child misbehaves, right? Or especially on how they feel you should, be it guide or teach the child. There's always a lot of different expectation.
Yeah.
So all eyes are on you. And yeah, like being,
Absolutely.
yes, expected of what to do or not to do. So either way, it doesn't please everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So do you happen to watch this Pixar film called The Incredibles?
yes.
Yeah. Do you remember the character of the mother in the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, her name is Elastical. So she's my favorite character. Yeah, she's my favorite character in the show. It's like, wow, she is really, really, yeah, she is really like how a mother is in reality. She's always multitasking, like you said, have to do this, have to do this, have to do this, have to do this. So Elastical is really such a wonderful description of mothers and their roles. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Thanks very much for sharing your perspective. Yeah. So anyway, back to today's topic. So as a change navigation partner, that I mean, change is something that is very, very close to my heart. Helping people manage changes is something very, very close to my heart. And simply because change is not the only constant in the world, but change is a key constant in the world. And I think that is something which is applicable to everyone, regardless of race, gender, etc. Yeah, so today my intent is to share some tips with all of you who are tuned in, as well as all of you who will be logging in later on Facebook, Felicia's Facebook, to just check out this recorded video. Yeah, so tips to achieve your personal goals. Yeah, so we'll be going through some questions, and we'll be doing our sharing. from whether it's about theories as well as some practical tips, and also very importantly life experiences. Yeah, that the both of us have. Yeah. But before we move on, right, Felicia, because I can only see the both of us in this Facebook live recording, will you happen to be able to see any questions coming in, etc.? Or
Yes. I'm having another device.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks so much. Wow, I tell you, I mean, whoever who's logging in now, right? Yeah, it's no joke. It's no joke. Running all these digital engagement platforms. Okay. Usually, if you have a big event, probably need to have an army, supporting you. Sometimes you need two armies supporting you. Yeah, so it's really no joke. So kudos to you, Felicia, for running this Facebook live session. Yeah, so shall we move on to the first question?
Yes. I think the first question I like for you, yes, of course, which you also have it flashed there, which is nice.
Yes.
So what does navigating change mean to you in this?
Yeah. And the second question that we have, maybe we can do both questions.
Sure.
Perhaps that'll be easier. Yeah. So the second question is about why do we want to make this change? Yeah. So let's take this two questions together.
Sure.
So what does navigating change mean to me? I mean, to put it very simply, navigating change is basically, how do we continue with life as smoothly and not so painfully? Life is already very challenging, right? Yeah. So can we make it less painful for ourselves, less painful for the people around us? In order to, whether it's to achieve our goals or to create an impact socially, especially. So that's what navigating change means to me. Because in my opinion, and based on my work experience and life experience, I think change is definitely a constant, right? And change is not like a monster coming. Oh, change is here now. It isn't like this, okay? In fact, many a times change is happening and we may not be aware of it. Yeah, because things are really changing, whether it's in our environment, in our immediate environment that is visible to us, or in many other people's worlds that are not visible to us. Yeah, so navigating change, to me, it means to be able to just live life, moving on with the times, with as little pain as possible, and yet being able to create an important impact, for our life purpose. Yeah. How about yourself, Felicia? Do you have, I mean, what in your opinion is navigating change about?
For me, I do very much agree with what you say. Change is a constant. I have been changing throughout my life on some aspects, be it in terms of career options, be in whatever ways that I do things, much as I like it or not. I'm not the type of person who can stay constant. So yes, throughout my work life and personal life, I have been, moving around, changing around. I think it bores me literally if I were to stay constant or even like stay in the job of 5-10 years. Not that I can't, I could, but the nature of it is excite me in some sense. So which is why I was in the business I was in, because I see every project, every client as a new challenge, new start and a new milestones. So that was why I'm able to stay in that industry for that long as well, because or else if it is the same old, I think I cannot take it. I'll be bored to death, the kind of thing. So I need the motivation, the excitement.
Have you actually it's very interesting that you surface this. Have you actually stayed in one job for that's pretty, I'll just use the word boring, for some time?
Frankly, now that you mentioned, I have never been in a job for more than 5 years.
Mm.
So the longest I am is in on my own business, which is the graphic and web design. Yeah, more than 10 years or more.
Okay.
Otherwise, partially also because I was very determined on what's my goal. I know I want to set up a business.
Wow.
So to be an employer is just really to gain the necessary experience.
Mm. Mm.
So that's why it's like a few years in this line, a few years in this line, a few years in that. Okay, that's it. Time to move on. So I'm very sure where am I heading to.
5 years could be very long for some people also, I do know of people who job hops, let's say every year. Yeah. And it's simply because they don't want to, they intentionally do that. Yeah. Some of my friends, they think to them life is like a buffet. Yeah, or work life ought to be like a buffet. So they want to try everything out a little bit. Yeah, so they purposely don't want to stay in one job for too long. Yeah. Whereas for me, I'm someone who I've stayed in one job for a very long time before. Yeah, like 7.5 years. Yeah. And to be honest, there were all the mini changes even when I was in that one job. Yeah. So now that I'm looking back on hindsight, I realized that because I've only stayed in that one little world, actually I've not experienced a lot more things out there. Yeah. So, but very funnily, when I was in that job, to me things keep changing all the time. Yeah. But then when I got out of it, and then I realized, oh my gosh, there are so many more things, around me. And from then on, I actually told myself never to be at one place only for too long. But the too long is very subjective, and it's really very much according to your life purpose. Yeah. And also depending on the environment, and what satisfies you in that job. I mean, like earlier you mentioned that your why, you want to make this change is because you know that your end goal is to be a 老板娘, right? Yeah, I want to be an employer. Yeah. For me, my end goal is I want to be able to save the world. No, I'm not going to save the world. But my end goal is that I want to be able to create an impact to help people. Yeah. And I feel that in everything that I do, there are always opportunities to help people. But the extent that we want to help people, that is very subjective. Some people, to them, oh, every day I'm helping people. What? You ask me what bus to take, I'm also helping people. What? So and I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm helping people can already. But to some people, they want to help very extensively. I mean, like for myself, helping people means to like a biscuit tin. I want to be able to pry open the biscuit tin to help them discover their own gifts. Yeah, in order for them to recognize their gifts so that they can in turn go and do something good to impact the world. Yeah. I'm saying that also because for a large part of my life, in fact, I would say even till now, I do have a lot of blind spots, of course. Yeah, when I say blind spots, it's not only about my flaws, but also not being able or willing to own my gifts and recognize that, hey, that is my gift. Like recently, when I was having some conversations with friends, and then they said, yeah, can you be my mentor? I'm like, huh? Mentor? It's such a big word. Am I good enough? Yeah. So that's always the first thing that comes to my mind. Am I good enough? Yeah, but the thing is, when you observe yourself, when you observe people's feedback about you, then it's very subjective. What is enough, right? Yeah, maybe to someone, $1 million is enough. To another person, $100 is enough. I don't know. Yeah, so it's very, very subjective. So the thing to really I would say to really sense whether you are enough, you are capable enough or not, will be two things. One is your own gut feel. Yeah, your own gut feel. So the gut is like here. So that's why these days I try not to eat so much already so that I can feel my gut a bit better. In the past, my gut sense is very bad because I eat a lot, because I love food. Yeah. So your own gut sensing. And secondly, go and test water lah, to see whether people respond to you, etc. Yeah. So that's a little bit more about why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah. And yeah. So that's a little about the why do we want to make this change. Well, I would say that yeah, so the why we need to be very clear, and that actually means it's something that we just need to decide for ourselves. Yeah, I mean, like for Felicia, your end goal is to be a Lapanyang. Like for my end goal is I want to create bigger social impact in whatever ways. But currently, I don't think I am doing enough. Yeah. But how did I arrive at this conscious conclusion? Simply because I'm someone who reflects a lot. Yeah, you look at me, actually, you see I have a lot of wrinkles. And even though my hair looks black, actually I have a lot of white hair. But yeah, because I think a lot and very, very reflective. Yeah, so I think a lot. And so I came up with a vision board, which I will share later, to crystallize my own thoughts on what I need to do and why I want to do it, and what I need to do to pursue the whys in order to reach my goals. Yeah, but the journey to the vision board is actually not an easy task. Yeah. Later when I show you my vision board, you may think, wow, so nice, because when I showed it to my family, my sister's instant reaction was, wow, I love your poster. I'm like, that's not a poster, that's my personal vision board. Yeah, and she happily said, can you do a poster for me? I'm like, that's not a poster, and I can't do a personal vision board for you because it will mean that that's my vision, not your vision. Yeah, but in any case,
vision.
Yes, literally vision board. Yeah, so that's so that's for me. And how I arrived at that was because now it's 2021, right? So it's about 3 years ago. Yeah, I went through a pretty major surgery. And thanks to hospitalization leave, I had a lot of time to reflect in the hospital as well as out of the hospital. And I asked myself, what is it that God wants me to do? Yeah. And it was a very difficult conversation I had to have with myself. But it was one of the better conversations that I have had probably in my life. Yeah. So you need a lot of time in order to just right here. You need a lot of time in order to reflect. Okay, and you must want to reflect, because so the other thing is about your motivations. Yeah. But this motivation it's not something that I can give you motivation, and it's also not something which you sit down then, people will give you a lot of motivation. Yeah, you must, even if people are giving you a lot of motivation, you must also be receptive enough to want to open up and embrace, these things that whether it's people encouraging you and etc. To make whatever changes it is. Yeah. I mean, for myself, I used to be, when I was much younger, I used to be very closed up in many ways. when people say something to me, I'm like, no, 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 that's not me. Even this also applies to like compliments. Yeah, I even told the person off, don't compliment me. You know, it's like, no, I'm not supposed to be like that. But for some reasons, I'm thankful now. I have gone past that stage. Yeah, because I think as we grow older, maybe the compliments are more difficult to come by. So I just say, oh, thank you so much. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So the why, the motivation, is very important, and like I said earlier, we must, in our hearts, we must want to be a better version of ourselves, lah. Because some people, and I know a lot of people who are like that actually. They're like that, lor. You know, what you mean you do? Like that, lah. Give me that, I do. You know, it's so I used to have a lot of biases towards such people, but over time I've grown to realize that, hey, we all live in different worlds, you know, and all of us, our circumstances are different. The people we interact with are very different, and we are wired very differently. So my background is in psychology and in communications. So the reason why I studied psychology is because I'm very fascinated by how we're all wired. Yeah, how come we all, you know, have eyes? Okay, not all of us, but most of us, we generally, our features are all present, and you know, we have a human language to communicate with each other. Why is it that we behave so differently? You know, recently I think because of COVID and all the circuit breaker kind of measures that are absolutely necessary, in my opinion. And I've been receiving quite a number of WhatsApp videos, and I think even in the media, they covered quite a number of people with, I would say, queer of unconventional behaviors, you know, like walking around naked, and many other behaviors. And it struck me, I'm like, because during COVID, circuit breaker measures, actually I'm very happy. I'm like, yes, I don't need to face so many people. Yes, you know, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but it's more like, yes, I get to spend time more with myself. You know, I get opportunities to declutter my environment, etc., etc. So to me, I thought that is like a 理所当然 kind of expectations. But yesterday we were just chatting, right? You're saying that, yeah, due to circuit breaker measures, you because you're a very outdoor person, so it's like, wow, you feel very, 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 in a way, pent up or very limited as well, right? Yeah. So it's only it's only during the circuit breaker then I realized that, I mean last year, then I realized that, wow, while I know that humans are all wired differently, I never knew that such measures could actually impact people so extensively. Yeah. So anyway, how do you get to that? Oh, the reason why we got to that is because that's a realization that all of us are actually very, very different. Yeah, and whatever we are sharing now, it may apply for people like Felicia and myself. It might not necessarily apply for you. Yeah, in fact, you know, it might be better for you. I mean, if you have got other more useful tools, techniques, tips, whatsoever, just feel free to let us know. Yeah, and in the meantime, here, this is about getting to the why do we want to do, why do we want to make this change happen for ourselves, the why here. Yeah, so in order to reach the why, you need some ingredients, and that is your time, your motivation. Yeah, and motivation can be internal and external, intrinsic and extrinsic, right? Yeah. What else about the why? Yeah, and I would say that one other thing is to be able to write it down. Yeah, and because that will give you a much clearer picture of to help you form your why and your life purpose. Yeah. So I'm just gonna write here, what's your life purpose? That is the why.
I think you bring out a very good point. Life purpose and therefore the why. Or else it's like we wouldn't want to change for the sake of changing.
Yes.
As into what's the purpose that we want out of our life. Therefore, we want to make the change.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good point.
Yeah. I mean, after sharing this point, I genuinely hope that your life purpose is not to pay a lot of bills for the whole of your life. Yeah, because if it is, let us know. We are very happy to hand you our bills as well. Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully it's something that's more impactful to the world. Yeah, so it's about reaching the why do we want to make this change.
So having said so, now that we identify the why and of course the life purpose, then the question of course is what does it take to make that change then? Right?
Wow. Very difficult. What does it take to make that change happen, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Very difficult. But it's okay, since this is a sharing, okay? We don't have a 10-year series answer, okay? Because life does not end just after 10 years. A lot of things. So what does it take to go through the change? Well, okay, I'm looking at the time, so it's 8:33. Okay, a lot of things. So one is about, and I'm going to write it down. One is about yourself. Okay, what is it that you want? So that's where we need to reflect more. And we need to prioritize. For those of you who know me, okay, I'm not sure if there's anyone else who knows me who are locked in. Yeah, but and in any case, for those of you who know me, you know that I want to do a lot of things. Yeah, because I feel that my mission is to save the world. No, I'm not here to save the world. I've concluded that I'm not here to save the world. But yes, prioritization is something that I personally struggle a lot with. And you know, but to some extent, no, not to some extent, the reality is that where your focus goes, that's where your energy will flow. So the question is, how much energy do you have? So I'm just gonna put here, what does it take to go through change, right? You need a lot of energy to go through change. And I realized that energy levels is something very subjective as well. But the good news is time, once it's over, you can't turn back time. But energy is something that you can recharge. That's good news, right? Yeah. So it's like pumping petrol in the car, right? Aya, bo yu liao. What happens? You go to the petrol station. So the question is finding out how you recharge yourself. So like for myself, in the past, I've distanced myself a lot from God for many different reasons. Yeah, I think a large part is simply because I was much more focused on a lot of other things like career, work, etc. So because of that, I've distanced a lot unintentionally. And I'm currently on a sabbatical. And one of my end goals is to mend that relationship with God. Yeah, it's not about asking God, where are you? Actually, I think God is the one asking me, Audrey, where are you? Yeah. So that has created a lot of thinking for me. And I have learned to regain a lot of energy to recharge, from God. Yeah. But of course, helping people is something that I really, really enjoy. I mean, not helping people do bad things, lah, huh? Yeah, helping people is something I really enjoy, and that really recharges me. Yeah, and of course, good food as well, as you may know. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, what does it take to go through change? Yourself, what exactly you want. You need to know how to prioritize. What's most important, what you need to do now versus what you can do later. Because sometimes once it's later, you realize that, actually, do I really want to do that? Yeah. It's like buying some things on impulse, right? Wow, 那个很美. Then it's like, oh yeah, buy. Then after that, it's put somewhere in the corner of your house. Then 10 years later, maybe, whatever you bought, it may still be in the same packaging. And then you ask yourself, why did I buy that last time? Why I buy so much of that last time? Yeah, so it's something like this, lah. Yeah. So so knowing how to prioritize. Why we need to know how to prioritize? Because once we know how to prioritize that, we will then know how to prioritize our time, and then our energy. Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, your energy level, it's something that you can recharge. And I think something very important is your goals. Yeah, and how you describe your goals. Yeah. Or maybe I'll just use this word vision as well, your personal vision, or purpose, Give me a moment. Yep. Yeah, so you must know, you must have your purpose lah, in order to know how you want to prioritize and move forward. Yeah, it will give you meaning. So, do you have anything else to build on, Felicia, with whatever you have experienced before? You have gone through so much changes in your work, from being an employee to a lao panyang and to a mama. So many things. Yeah, so what, I mean, perhaps you can share with us.
For me, I definitely agree with what you say, and of course you put it in that kind of order lah, that kind of clarity lah. But also, yes, I do agree that when we are going through that change, we may not necessarily see that it's like a learning curve. So we are like, we have some knots here and there, some bang walls. Then we realize, why like that? It's not what I envisioned, Then you relook at it and then you refocus and whatever not.
I think it's a very good point.
Yeah, it's a kind of cycle, but it's not exactly like follow 1 to 4 kind of a strict rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a absolutely refocused and I would say comfortable with change, with ambiguity, comfortable with changes, with more changes. This triangle is a change lah. Yeah, the delta.
Yeah. So I think that's part of life lah. I mean, like it or not, like what you say, even if you stay in the same job for 10 years or whatever, your boss could be changing, your colleagues could be leaving. So you need to deal with the different new colleagues, the different new bosses, or different job scope.
Yeah.
So you may be even transferring from departments to departments. And that's where you need to relearn whatever that you know, or even your communication skills to work with, to deal with different colleagues. Right.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's one part of our life as well. Not to mention, of course, our personal life. That's where, yes, milestone changes, like for my case. So from wife to mom, then that's where another steep learning curve, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so when you go to your work environment and coming back to your home, then you need to rework your so-called your priority as well, and how to who comes first, to take care of the child first, to take care of the husband first, even is a question, right? Suddenly, who is the priority and whatever not. I think that's really one thing that really struck me as well. Being a mom, because suddenly you are like overwhelming. You don't know how to handle first.
Yeah.
So that was the issue as well. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you thought you master it, then something happens along the way, and you like galang gabok again. Then you're like, you have to, relearn again, and then wondering, hey, I thought, this is something I done that I should be, very comfortable with it and confident. Then suddenly, something out of it went haywire, and you're like, redubbing, rejudging yourself, re-looking. I thought I got the hang. Why is it not the case? And whatever not. It's a constant cycle as well. But I think along the journey is also, don't beat yourself up so much. Don't judge or even be too critical on ourselves.
Wow.
We are most critic with ourselves, right? So people will be okay, no problem. Then we are like, no, this is not okay, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I think that's really one thing that I learned in this journey. That it's okay. And with the child, every day restart. Today could be a bad day, but tomorrow everything just restarts. It's a plain new shit again. Yeah. He or she would have forgotten everything that has happened yesterday.
So amazing.
Yes. That's the thing of a child. They cannot remember it's yesterday or the day before or the week before. So they forgot everything. You will just start with a clean sheet, which is nice for us because it feels better, right?
Yes, of course.
Sad about what happened yesterday because they forgotten about it anyway. Yeah, so I think that's nice lah. And yes, time definitely fly with them because every day is same but not the same lah. They're trying to do the same routine, but that their behavior can change. They are from one range to another. They can be like just crying their hearts out, jumping here and there, and the next 5 minutes they are all well ready to go. It's very extreme sometimes. So it drives you nuts. Yeah, it drives you nuts. But on the other hand, you're like, okay, 没事了, come, let's go. Then like, that kind of thing. So yeah, it can be that extreme, but it's that fulfilling as well. Like, how can such a small human being disrupt your life so much, literally? That is really a love-hate relationship. Really, like, sometimes I just hate him, that kind of thing. Like, it's okay lah. I need to get work done. Then you write a little message like, can you play with me? Then you're like, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that kind of thing, no problem. That kind of thing is that kind of difference lah in your life. Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like your child is your best teacher.
Yes, definitely. I think most parents agree lah.
So amazing.
A reflection of who you are when you're young. Then your mom will be like, you're like that now when you're young. Then you're like, okay, fine, so I'm receiving my retribution, whatever you call it. Yeah, it's also interesting lah to see how a small human being can behave and learn through and whatever that you teach or don't teach.
So nice. I think thanks for sharing whatever you just shared. And in your earlier sharing, you mentioned about things that we need to unlearn. So I've also like scribbled some of your pointers that you mentioned. So I thought that this unlearning part is extremely important, because in my course of work we keep encouraging people that we need to learn this, we need to learn a lot of things. Even for myself, I always tell myself, okay, I need to go and learn this. I always forget. I also need to unlearn a lot of other things. So recently, during my sabbatical, I wouldn't say that I have been able to unlearn a lot of things, but I would rather say that I have managed to unfreeze a lot of old mindsets. Yeah. So for example, in my family, yeah, maybe not in my family, because my sister loves to exercise. Yeah, like whenever I want to exercise, then my parents, especially my mother, whom I have unintentionally role modeled after, she'll always equate exercising to an injury. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and I don't blame her now that I know how people think, because our worlds are just different. Perhaps, it's because when I was much younger, during a netball match, I did injure myself. So as a mother, you only just want the best for your child, right? Yeah. But over time, whenever I want to exercise, it's always equated to injury. So because of that, I end up internalizing it and telling myself, oh, okay, cannot exercise because exercise means injury. Yeah. So it's very, very bad. Yeah. But these days I observe, the injury is not only happening to me, like many people are also going through it, but these people, it's still business as usual. Whenever I go running or long walks these days, I see a lot of people who are wearing their knee guards, etc. And they're so skinny, really very, very skinny. And I used to think that, oh, it's because of my weight. That's why it's, I have knee problems. But then I realized, hey, skinny people also got knee problems. So it's not because of my weight lah. Yeah, so because of all these observations, I started unfreezing my mind, my mindset and my world. And so these are things, that I have grown to unlearn. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to share a bit about, the need to, while we learn a lot of new things, we must also unlearn a lot of our old things, including old habits and our old mindsets lah. Yeah. So yeah. And to your point about I need a lot of strength. Yeah, and you just have to move on, yeah, etc. The word I'm using here, and which is what I've been taught as well in my course of work, is rebound. Yeah. For myself, my rebound time is like 5 years. Yeah, I wish I was like a kid, in the sense that, hey, hello, Titus. Yeah, I wish I was like a kid who could actually this second you say this, and then the next moment, oh, okay, I've rebounded already. So that is something which I am personally still trying to improve on. Yeah. Titus, you are like a wonderful teacher to us through your mommy's sharing. So wonderful to see you, on and off this, on and off the set. Now you see me, now you don't. Yeah. So the amount of resilience and ability to rebound is very, very important. As well as to be comfortable with even more changes, because not everything happens according to plan. Yeah, and I think to add to that, right, being comfortable with more changes, I think the word that comes to my mind right now is the word disappointment. If it doesn't go according to our plan, don't feel too disappointed. Get your strength from wherever, from your own petrol station. Yeah, and then, top up your energy and rebound from there. Yeah. So, yeah. I think it's quite a bit to digest. I think we can write 2 books maybe. 有续集的. Let's go to the next question. How's that? Yeah, the part about how to sustain change, the most exciting part. Yeah, so I've got 3, because anyway, this sharing is about tips, right? Yeah. So I would say that I'm no guru in this. So but I'm no guru in this, but quite a guru also lah. Like what Zoe Tay said during the recent Star Awards, right? When the journalist asked if if she thinks that she'll win an award or not. Yeah, what she thinks her chances are compared to the rest of her competitors. And then her answer was, 我们每个都很好，可是我也不错。Yeah, so the same here. Okay, yeah, 我也不错。So anyway, back to this. How do you sustain the change? I would say the three key ingredients to help you sustain the change is simply your visuals, what you see, or your vision. In terms of like an image that you can have. Okay, a picture you remember, etc. Artifacts, which means the things that you interact with. For example, like for mummies will be I won't say that's more of an artifact lah, but your son is a key thing in your environment. Yeah. So second is artifacts. So whether it's about whatever you want to. Okay, it's like me and exercise. Yeah. If I don't have any exercise gear, if I don't have a good enough pair or comfortable enough pair of exercise footwear, then I will not be able to I won't be enabled with the right tools lah. Yeah. So the artifacts, the things I interact with. And then language. Yeah. Basically whatever that you feed to your brain through your ears and through your eyes. Those are very, very important. Yeah. So I'll say these are the three key points. And I would like to take this opportunity to share the poster that my sister was so proud of. So this is my poster. Yeah, it's a vision board that I did up on the 15th of September 2019. I can remember so well because I even wrote a date there, and I signed off to give myself that ownership. So this, sorry.
That's very nice.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this board, there are 4 quadrants, okay, and I even gave myself the time frame. I even gave myself a theme, okay. Yeah, and beware of what you ask for, because whatever you ask for, you must be prepared to want to go through it. Okay. Yeah. Last time I remember the priest would say, would share like some funny stories. Like there was a guy, there was a parishioner who went to the priest and say, oh, why is it that God always gives me challenges? But I always pray that God will put me through all these challenges. So if you want God to put you through all these challenges, then you must be prepared to accept challenges lah. Yeah, so beware of what you ask for. So for my theme here, I actually put growth and inclusiveness actually. Yeah, and it's a 10-year vision board, which means I need to keep this board for the next 10 years. Okay, I'm pleased to know that 1.5 years have passed. So yeah, till 2030. But of course, if I manage to achieve these and I feel that I reach some form of closure, then of course, I can promote this board to become a poster. Yeah. So anyway, there are 4 quadrants here. So I'll just quickly go through and I'll just quickly go through how I came up with the 4 quadrants. And there's no right or wrong in how you intend to do a vision board, or how you. I mean, this works for me because it is something visual that I can refer to very conveniently, and these are what I put in effort to do. I spent about 2 to 3 weeks doing this up. Yeah. So at first I was very ambitious. 2 hours can already. And then after doing like one part, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I need 2 weeks. Yeah. So anyways, and I told myself that I need something big. So this big board, right, actually is a recycled material. This is my wedding, my wedding dinner board. Okay. Yeah, so I just took it back, right? yeah, maybe I kind of anticipated some form of usage of this recycled. Yeah. So so on this side, it's about what are the things I want to do. Okay, I give you some examples here. For example, I want to travel and I want to give back, to the society in different ways. And I have been doing pretty much of that actually in different ways. I want to have fitness and well-being, better well-being. And all these visuals here, it's actually either materials from Daiso. Thank you, Daiso, $2 for all these colorful stuff and stickers. And also thank you, old newspapers, old magazines, etc. But some of it I literally use marker and I just wrote directly on the board. And I even wrote down, like, if I want to travel, which are the places I want to travel to. So one place was China, because when I did up this board, I haven't been to China before. And incidentally, in 2019, end of 2019, I actually made a trip to Shanghai. So it's like, yay, I finally stepped into China. So anyway, so these are the things that I want to achieve. Okay. In order to reach this, the bottom part here, wow, a lot of things. So the bottom part here is basically what I need to do for myself. What you call self-work. So over here, it's about my self-belief. So for example, I want to believe that I'm born to rise, that I can be exceptional, I can dazzle, and I can unleash my power. And there are also things which I want to do more of. For example, I want to focus more on the details, because over time I have not been so focused on details. Just looking at broad picture. So I want to do more of like focusing on details, etc. And basically just having more faith in myself about what I need to do. Then decide. It's also about self-work and reminding myself what are things the behaviors I need to do. So for instance, one of the things is like, I must remember to put whatever I do, I must put my best foot forward. And really asking myself, is this what I really, is this my best? Is this the best version of myself? Is this the best that I can do? I'm not saying that whatever I do, I'm already doing my best, but I'm still, I think all of us are also work in progress, and life is a journey, as what Felicia shared earlier in her own journey of motherhood. Don't be so hard on yourself. And I think depending on your personality, I think incidentally, the both of us were pretty similar in that sense. We are probably very hard on ourselves. And for those of you who are not very hard on yourselves, don't be so hard on others also. So so anyway, so this is the part where, what are things I need to do. So I have this very chill person's silhouette here. I don't know who she is, because it just came without a head anyway. So I just cut it and paste it there to remind myself. So this is the part about how important visuals are, okay, when you want to achieve your personal goals. So I told myself, okay, by 2030, hopefully I will, not hopefully, I will work towards that target. I might look like that, but maybe different proportion. Sorry.
You need so long, a few years at best, don't need so long.
So anyway, so that's the bottom part. And then this very important quadrant, it's called hit the target. So these are the so I literally identified what are the goals, small goals, okay, that I want to achieve towards my life purpose. So this is the personal vision board that I came up with. And if you need any help in crystallizing your thoughts, feel free to just connect, whether on Facebook or LinkedIn, and very, very happy to talk about it. Yeah. But I will not do a poster for you.
Yeah, you have to do yourself.
Yes, you have to do it yourself. Yeah, so that's the part about visuals, artifacts, and also the need to surround yourself in an environment that will help you sustain. Yeah, it's like losing weight, right? If I want to lose weight and then I keep interacting with people who keep wanting to eat, don't want to exercise, then it you are not being fair to your own life purpose lah. And let's just put it this way, it will either be very, very challenging for you, it'll be a torture to try to reach and of course sustain your purpose, your goals, or maybe even pretty impossible. Yeah. So yeah.
I think thank you for sharing first of all. I think it's a very nice visual board, frankly, that you put a lot of details.
Yes.
And I think it's very good because with details, then we can really visualize and like what you say, crystallize even your thoughts.
Yeah.
I think that's what I don't do to the extent to that detail. So that's something that I probably need to work on as well. And even the time frame, that's something that I don't really set time frame on. So, like what you said, work in progress and never happen. Always work in progress. So I think the time frame is also something that we should look on setting it as a end goal, and when do you want to achieve it. Yeah. So, but last but not least, what is the one key takeaway message that you want to give to the audience today, that to say, if everything else is secondary, what is the one primary key takeaway?
Sure. I'll give two.
Last one.
Yeah, 1+1, buy one get one free. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give two. So since this is about personal vision, it's very important that we actually have a lot of self-belief, right? And in order to have that self-belief, you like I mentioned earlier about language, we need to surround ourselves and to internalize a very encouraging language to help us reach our personal vision, our personal goals. Yeah, so the two that I want to share are your two key takeaways is yes, I can. And because we're in Singapore, so I think this will boom in your head all the time. GST, okay? So what do I mean by this? So by yes, I can, what I mean here is you must yearn for excellence in yourself. And how do you do that? You identify your GST. Actually got two T's, so it's GSTTs. But anyway, what I mean by GST would be identifying your goals, your life purpose, your strengths. Please don't think that just because you had a very down day, you feel very down, people have been throwing spanas on your face or whatever, that you have no strengths. Okay, all of us have our own gifts, and see that in yourself. Recognize that you have your strengths, and of course, all of us have our weaknesses, but know what your strengths are and play it up. Really fully utilize your strengths, because God does not give these gifts to us for nothing. Okay? And the two T's would be number one, team. By team, what I mean is finding your allies and your partners in order to achieve your goals. This team could be people who, we all have strengths and weaknesses, right? These people could be the ones who will compensate you for areas that you're weak at. Yeah, for example, if you are someone who's not very mathematically inclined, not good with numbers, just recognize that that's your weakness, and find a partner who can either teach you or make things easier for you, get a tool. Yeah, sometimes the team need not be your best friend, but the person can be your ally. It need not be in the form of a human being. It could be in the form of a tool. a gadget that will help you achieve your goals better. Yeah, like for myself, when I want to lose weight, because recently I've been walking a lot. So my team, right, is actually the hawkers who are not doing very well because they are my end goal. My end goal is to help them. Okay, so what I do is like today, I actually walk from where I stay, which is in Tiong Bahru. I walk to Whampoa.
Oh, that's quite
I walked to
far.
Whampoa. Yeah, I walked to Whampoa. And yesterday, actually I wanted to walk to Kim Kiat Avenue because I wanted to support this hawker who sells char kway teow, Hokkien mee, or lua, and chai tow kueh, because he's a kidney dialysis patient. And and he does not want to, he still wants to maintain his some form of financial independence wherever possible. Yeah, but I walked till one point and then I got lost in the area. So I took a short grab to wherever I had to go. Yeah, so you see, so this is what I mean by, so my team is actually the hawkers who, or good food. Yeah, okay, let's say good food, or maybe people who are selling food but finding it very challenging to make ends meet, especially during the COVID period. Yeah, so that's my goal. And then so I consider them as my team members also. Yeah, and of course, my shoes are my team members also, because without them I can't get there. Yeah, and then of course another T that's very important is you have to identify the time. Okay, so earlier you all saw my vision board. It's a 10-year time frame. Because I told myself that, hey, seriously, you want to achieve so many things now. You think 1 year cannot? The fact of the matter is, cannot. I don't even know whether in 1 year I can achieve one thing or not. So I told myself, I'm already so old, get on with life, recognize that in many times in our lives, we always make New Year resolutions afresh at the beginning of the year. And then in like 2 months, 3 months after that, it kind of did. Yeah, because it could be because we have not charted out our time and given ourselves sufficient time and space to do whatever we need to do. Yeah, so set your time, and whatever is something that you have set for yourself. Yeah, so this is your GST, your goals, strengths, team, and your time. And then, so that's yes, I, right? And then you have can. So yes, I can. The can here would be simply commit action now. Yeah. So let me repeat, commit action now. Not tomorrow, not later, but now. Okay. So yeah, why is this important? I think it's very self-explanatory, because if you keep talking and talking and talking and there's no action, you will just stay at the talking and talking and talking stage. Yeah. So the only way to find out, there's only one way to find out. It's called trying it. Yeah. And I am CPO, Chief Procrastinating Officer. Yeah, in the past. Now I might still be a CPO in a lot of things, but I have a plan on how I want to chart my actions out. Yeah, so so I'm much better now, I would say. And guess what? I used to think that I'm probably the only one, who procrastinates so much. And then after that, when I hear people's stories, they tell me, I procrastinated lah. I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. Then I'm like, oh, so I'm not alone. Okay. Yeah, but guess what? You can do something about it. Okay. So remember, yes, I can. Yearn for excellence in yourself. Okay, in yourself. You identify your goals, your strengths, your team, as well as your time, and you commit action now. Yeah. So that's a key takeaway. I hope that was helpful.
Very, very. I think, yeah. I think that's a very good one, with the GST and yes, I. That really summarized whatever that we have shared just now. And I also thank you for all the sharing, because it really summarized a lot in terms of our journey as well, right? In our different career path, in our different journey, how we look at things, And like what you shared earlier, you are doing psychology, and in your work, you study behavior, human behavior, and whatnot. So I think it really summarizes that if you want change, you really need to commit action now, right? Or else nothing can happen. Yeah.
Yes.
So I really thank you today for the sharing.
Thank you.
Because it is really such a simple but yet profound topic in some sense. But I think it's very essential at this point in time, whereby there's a lot of uncertainty now with the COVID, with the pandemic. We don't know what tomorrow is going to happen.
Yes.
Will it jump to what, group of 5, group of 2? You know, we are like looking at numbers, news, and whatever not. So I think it's very important that we really self-check ourselves. What do we want at the end of the day?
Yes.
And how to cope with the so-called seemingly changing environment now that we have in a way no control of.
Indeed.
What is it that we have control on, which is actually really our response. What we want to do in our life, our priorities, that we can still have control on. Yeah, I'm very appreciative of it.
Thank you.
Guys, let me just share screen again.
Yes, please. I'm also just want to say thank you to you again for giving me this opportunity to share with the community about this this very helpful intent. Yeah.
So this Better You, Better Mom series is all about, self-care, couple, children, parenting, and even family care. And, with being a new mommy role, you just want to, indulge in that role. But the question is, sometimes you just want really a me time alone. You want to take care of yourself, be it physically, mentally, or even emotionally. Yeah, and also how do you still work with communications with your spouses, and not to mention the little ones that even like on and off you popping into the screen, that kind of thing. How to manage things like this, whereby now we are working at home as well, and also of course the division of roles with couples. Next month, I'm happy to share that I have Eugene Xia, stranger on Facebook Live. So he'll be sharing that on 22nd of July. And likewise, also, I like to share on this sponsorship with Chinese translation for the book. So
wow.
It has been out of stock for quite a while. I'm trying to do the translation for it to have a Chinese version as well. Okay, and of course, last but not least, if you have any questions that you want to check with me or even check with Audrey, you can always reach out, because I think right now, as mentioned, we have a lot of uncertainty.
Yes.
There's a lot of question marks. So how can we help each other as well? And last but not least, the journey of finding your rainbow after braving the storms is what makes our life meaningful. I think that's one especially true for me as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's all to my sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing your life journey and your vulnerabilities with us as well, Felicia.
Yeah.
And a very, very helpful one.
I'm very glad that we have a good sharing as well, and also to get to know you better. It's very interesting. From the initial day one to now. Even I see the transformation in you from show to now. I think it's very interesting and nice to know a friend deeper. That's why I see as well. Yep.
So, I may look very fierce and have RBF, but actually don't
worry.
but actually I'm not really like that, I think. I'm just joking. Okay.
Okay, so we are good for now. I'll just
We're good.